Hello, Dumaguete.
Hello, Negros Oriental.
Hello, Sillimanians around the world.
This is Joshua Soldivillo.
And this is Ronelyn faced Vailoces-No.
You're watching
Silliman. Good evening, everyone. This is a magazine program that talks about different aspects of Silliman University, a program initiated to discuss matters concerning the campus by the sea. Welcome to Silliman. Good evening, dear friends. Thank you for watching Silliman. As we start, our students might wonder where to live here in Dumaguete City. So we invited our dorm matrons and dorm managers to talk about the different dorms and the facilities here at Silliman University. So without further ado, let me introduce our dorm manager of Dolls Hall, Kuya Joey O. Bantigaw. Hello, Kuya Joey, and welcome to Silliman. Of course, Kuya Joey will introduce a student representative and a Dolls Haller.
Kois Noel Daron, he is a Dolls Haller from 2022 and until now.
2022. So 3 years, almost 3 years. Hello, and Kairos, right?
Yes,
hello and welcome to Silliman.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, we also have here the women's dorm, Edith Carson Hall dorm matron, Ate Florentine Tabalok, or we can call her, or she's better known as Ate Jean. Hello, Ate Jean, and welcome to Silliman.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And Ate Jean is with
Alisa Marion Corral. She's been in the dorm for almost 6 years, during her senior high school, and up to the present.
To keep the ball rolling, let's talk about dorm life. So what makes dorm life here in Silliman University unique? Kuya Joey.
For Dolls Hall, we have a different activities like idols competition during September, then the weekly devotion, and for the previous year, we have twice a month for the devotion. And after the devotion, we're handling a meeting for the different experience for the previous week.
So you have activities. So the students will not just live there, eat there, and then go to classes. But all in all, you also have prepared these activities for the students to enjoy. Let's talk more about those activities. Let's talk about the weekly devotion. What happens during the weekly devotion at the Jean?
The Edith Carson Hall management team takes pride in its dormitory activities to complement the academic program of the university, be it for social, spiritual, athletic, and academic pursuit of the residents. We have this now devotions. Before it's weekly, now it's once a month or twice a month. We have dorm devotions, room evaluations. We have the sports fest, dormitory ball, the parade of talents, and the most popular for the parents and guardians is the study hours and curfew.
The curfew.
So in all these activities are in partnership of the Big Sisters.
Yes.
The Big Sisters plays the very important role in the dormitory system. They are the implementing arm as to the rules and regulations of the dormitory service.
Oh, thank you very much for that, Ate Jean. You mentioned about the sports fest and the ball.
Yeah.
So, kindly please talk more about that?
For the sports fest,
when does it happen?
It happens during the second semester because the rationale of the sports fest is to be a prospective athletes for the university intramurals.
Okay. So thank you very much for sharing that, Ate Jean. Now, of all the things that were mentioned by Kuya Joey and Ate Jean, Kairos and Alisa, I'd like to know what's your most favorite, especially for Alisa, who's been with us for 6 years now. So let's start with Alisa.
Okay, so I think my favorite dorm activity is, it's pretty hard to choose because every year it changes now. There are new people involved in the dorm, new set of big sisters. And I've been a big sister for more than 4 years now. I think my favorite would be the devotion. Sometimes we have joint devotion, so sometimes it's together with adults, together with Shannon, Lorena, so at different dorms. I think it's, dorm devotion because aside from like our spiritual growth, like enhancing our spiritual growth, it's also a breather from studying, always studying, especially since the course I'm in is requires a lot of studying. So
What's your course, by the way?
I'm an accountancy student. So it's a breather for me, and on top of that, we have snacks.
Yes, we should not forget snacks.
Yeah. So that's my favorite dorm activity, and I think also the dorm sports fest because I'm also an athlete myself. So I play soccer, but because of the dorm sports fest, I was able to learn volleyball, even basketball, even Larong Pinoy. So I'm really grateful for the dorm activities because it opened, things that I didn't even know that I could try.
Now you get to learn a lot of things now, not just in one aspect.
Right.
And it's not boring in a sense that you're just going to, think about academics, you know? And yes, Kairos.
Well, on my end, I'd say that it's going to be the trips outside the dormitory because we have that, I think in almost every semester we have that. We go out somewhere to hang out, to bond, and for us to relax, just like what Alisa said earlier, to really have this sense of breather as well, because in my course I'm studying medical technology. It's going to be tedious as well. Not only that, we also require a lot of studying, and if you immerse yourself in a lot of pressure of studying, of purely reading and not being able to breathe every once in a while, I think that it will really consume you. Thus, having these types of activities, going outside of dormitory to unwind, to bond with your fellow adult scholars, it's something to look forward to every semester.
Do you have a chaperone during when you go outside? Kuya Joey.
Yes.
Where do you usually
we invite,
go?
a lot of chaperone.
Okay. And where do you usually go? Just trip around the city or?
We usually go to resorts.
Wow.
So it's one thing that the adults hall also takes
Baka
pride in.
naman pwede niyo kami imbitahin sa akin.
Invite people some other time. But yes, we of course, adult scholars really love to go swimming. I feel like it's also with the male bravado to really immerse yourself in like physical activities like swimming, singing also, and dancing. Like what Chris Joey said earlier, the idols competition is something we also have every year. So it's really just to highlight the talent of the adult scholars, not just being bound to academics, but also really have that sense of creativity. Because I feel like each of the resident really has a talent, but so that would be it.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Kairos. Kuya Joey, Kairos mentioned about the idol competition. Does this happen among the adult scholar, or are these is this participated also by the different dormers from different dorms and halls?
Actually, is for the adult scholars.
Adult scholar na. And then, what happens during the idol competition?
During the idols competition, actually this is for every September. And actually after the hibalag, so to know each other, so we conduct singing competition.
Singing competitions.
Idols competition.
And are there dancing competition, like pageantry, or is just
singing?
Really singing for now, but we also are planning. I mean, all of the activities are being planned by the big brads and the smallies. That's our system back at Adults Hall. Aside from that, we're trying to venture as well into dance competitions, but I feel like for now we'll be settling with the idols competition, the singing competition, because as far as I've known and observed amongst my other Adults Hall brothers, we really take pride in singing because a lot of,
Sample nga.
but also my dog school brothers, because we can really hear the jamming sessions, the singing, even in the shower.
Yes.
We hear people singing in the shower. So why not put them, to a test? Let's give them a show to really highlight their talent.
All right. Thank you very much for
The
that.
Idols is in the season 3.
We're
Ah,
going
so
on the
3
third season
years
now.
na.
Yes,
3 years na.
Wow, I'm looking forward to it, no, after Hibalag talaga. Now, Ate Jean, let's talk about the perks and opportunities that goes along being a dormer at Edith Carson or any other hall or dorms here at Silliman University.
They have these idols, and then Edith Carson has this parade of talents. It's a showcase of talents, then vying for the positions as dorm officers.
Oh.
And then they are called smallies. They are endorsed by their big sisters, meaning they have the potential to become the leader or dorm officers.
What was that again, Ate Jean? Parade of Talents.
Parade of Talents. And the next day is our election in the form of secret balloting.
Wow.
So Edith Carson Hall has 2 sets of officers. The other one is the Council of Big Sisters, and the other one is the dorm officers.
Okay.
So the Big Sisters, they are chosen by the dorm management. They are the implementing arm as to the rules and regulations, while the dorm officers, they are elected by the residents, and they are in charge of the dormitory programs.
Okay.
So there is no overlapping of job description.
Yes. Job description talaga. It's like preparing you for the real world, no? Ate Jean, you mentioned about the Parade of Talents. Is this like a variety show where they can showcase different talents like dancing, singing, as what adults haulers mentioned earlier, acting perhaps, declamation, oration?
It's a showcase of talents. But what is more important is the big sister will endorse. I mean, because the next day is election.
Yeah, it's like campaigning.
So, yeah, it's campaigning. So she will endorse her smallies and then set the qualifications that she is a student leader. She has the potential to become an officer of Edith Carson Hall. The talents is just an incidental.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So
it's not a beauty contest. It's a showcase of talents vying for the positions as dorm officers.
So it's like an introduction to these potential candidates. Right. Let us first take a short break, and when we come back, I'd like to ask about the different challenges of being a dormer and at the same time being a matron and a manager. If nabay buluyagon or what, nabay mula pa sa curfew, something like that. And all of those things, all of your answers will be heard after #Silliman returns. For staying with us here at #Silliman. Still with me are Kuya Joey, Kairos, Alyssa, and Ate Jean. Before we took a short break, I asked them about the different challenges that they experience being a dormer and the dorm managers and the dorm matron. Now let's ask first Alyssa, what's the most challenging part of being a dormer?
Okay, so I mentioned earlier that I've been a big sister for more than 4 years.
Yes.
So, and Ate Jean also mentioned that we are the implementing arm for the rules and regulations of the dorm. I think one challenge is that because we have rooms that are good for 6 and rooms that are good for 8, and so that's every day dealing with 6 people, you know, from different walks of life, different upbringings. So I think it's to create a balance between the different dormers or your different roommates, because there was an instance as well where I had a exchange student as my roommate. So that's like a different culture, you know, compared to like Filipino culture. So it's to blend. I think that's one of my biggest challenges as a dormer, because finding the right balance and finding the right mix between your roommates and your fellow dormmates as well.
So it's really a challenge kung paano makisama.
Yeah.
Especially they come
adjustment.
from... Yeah,
because
and adjustments.
Yeah. Because some of your roommates are introverts, some are extroverts.
Yes.
So you have to bridge the
paano
gap.
yung timpla mo?
Yeah.
How are you going to approach that?
Right.
Yeah, and it's a constant challenge because people are not really fixed. We change our mood, and then not all days are, you know, sunshine.
Right.
No, we are also experiencing something, right? Kairos.
Well, on my end, ma'am, I'd say that it's a bit challenging to juggle multiple tasks, everything, everywhere, all at once, because personally, I am the governor of the Medical Technology Society, ICLS. Plus, I also do hosting on the sides. I'm also
there's a lot of things on your plate.
Very. So to sum it up, I have a lot of things on my plate, but also on top of that, my responsibility as a big bud of the Adults Hall, because not only are we responsible for the well-being of our smallies, we also have to, like what Ate Jean and Alyssa said earlier, we have to also be mindful of the rules and regulations of the dormitory, that we ensure that we do not overstep any boundary. We ensure that everything is in place, because not only are we responsible for our smallies, but also we are also entitled to being committed to the policies of the dormitory, because as big brads and of course being a resident of the Adults Hall dormitory, we really have to ensure that, you know, we're having a holistic stay.
Yes.
We are actually covering everything, and we're not just purely going there just, you know, to live, to eat, and to sleep. We're also being part of this active community inside.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Kairos. No, make your stay in the dormitories worthwhile. No, not just to live and eat there and then, you know, study and whatnot. Now, Kuya Joey, what's the most challenging part of being a dorm manager of Adults Hall?
A lot of a lot of challenges to identify our dormers, especially the different behaviors.
Yes.
And we apply our reverse psychology to
May psychology parang nangyayari dito.
on how to handle the different types of behavior, like a lot of kanang challenges for every semester and also every year, especially if there's a dormer
Who gets sick?
who gets sick. So we need to go to the hospital to
Have them
check up for
and attend to them. So very kuya talaga si Kuya Joey, no? And there is a sense of familial relationship within dorms. No, it's a good what do you call this one? It's a good place to stay, wherein you can feel at home
because
with different
I
people.
focus the health of one to our dormers, to our residents, and also if there's like, for example, like I had experience last previous year undergo operation, then the parents is
like far away,
away from Dumaguete, like from Dipolog, so a
you
lot
have
of
to
challenges.
stand
Yeah.
as the parent of that. Wow.
Especially
thank you very
for
much
signing the signing the hospitalization, and
all the requirements.
everything of the requirements in the hospital. So we need to stand.
So do you have a child, Kuya Joey, or do you consider this dormers as your children na?
I considered as children.
So hindi ka ba kuya? Father Joey. Papa Joey. Thank you very much for your
Actually, as
selfless service for our dormers.
Actually, as
kuya.
a dormitory manager, it's not like kanang be a good person, be a good leader, be a good manager, especially handling different dormers, different behavior.
Thank you very much for that, Kuya Joey. Now, Ate Jane, what's the most challenging part of being a dorm matron?
The most challenging part of being a matron is taking care of more than 100 residents, coming from different family orientations and culture. It's a challenging job.
Why do you say so, Ate Jane? Can you please, point out a specific experience
Like,
or
for
situation?
example, the first time of their dormitory living, the adjustment, the first time away from home, the ordeal of adjustment is really difficult.
Yes.
Number one is how to fight homesickness.
Yes.
Because that's their second home. And then we should have this nurturing ability, how to take care of these students. And our job assignment was also in the front lines.
Yes.
And it involves discipline. So as expected, it is not a smooth sailing job. But we learned, I grow, and have come to love my job.
Wow, thank you very much for that. No, it's really a challenge on how to be kind, at the same time nurturing, at the same time disciplined, especially for 100 and more students, right? And thank you very much for your selfless service to the university, and of course to the Adults Hallers and the Edith Carson Hallers, and of course to all the dormers. Now let's talk about your growth as a big sis and a big brother. So, if you may tell a story about how you started, as what Ate Jean mentioned, the homesickness, and how did you overcome that and become into a reliable and I think approachable big sis and approachable talaga. Sige, Kairos.
Going back to how I entered Dolls Hall, I only saw it on Facebook posts. So when I actually visited here in the first time I was here in Dumaguete, I came to meet Kuya Joey. Especially, I checked out the facilities, how it is, how it's built. But one thing that really struck me the most was being able to meet new people.
Yes.
I mean, being in a dormitory is not new to me anymore, but moving to a different city, starting a new life in this dormitory, plus meeting, sharing a room with different people, with different personalities. So it was really a challenge. But for me personally, the growth there was extraordinary because you get to create bonds. You get to create the community, of course, the connection that you have. Going out here on campus, you walk past them, you say, "Hi, kuys," "Hi, bro." You always have that. It's something that's unique within the dormitory community. Being able to stand up as a big bro or a big Brad really speaks volume on how the smallies look up to you. That's why it's never an option to falter. It's really important to stay grounded, stay firm with your beliefs and principles in life, and also to really stand as that icon that the people can trust and depend on, especially with the activities in the dormitory.
Yeah, and I believe that being a big brother is a responsibility, and it doesn't have to, when we talk about responsibility, and it doesn't have to be heavy, no?
Yes.
And I think it's, judging from what Cairo said, it's light and it's somehow rewarding, no? Yes, Alyssa.
Okay, to give context, my mom, my aunt, my grandmother, and my older sister were dormers.
Yes.
So, they were actually Edith Carson Hallers as
So
well.
how many generations?
Generations.
Kasi yung grandmother. So I think 3 or 4.
Yeah, third generation dormer na. So, being in the dorm was quite difficult for me because I'm a very close buddy to my parents. So, the first 2 weeks I kept crying. I'd go to class with my nose very red. So, it was hard for me to adjust, but I had a big sister who was really helpful. She helped me overcome my homesickness, and then because I didn't have any friends at that time, so my first friends in Silliman were my dorm mates. So we were able to create long-lasting relationships. And mind you, I'm super dependent on our house help back at home. So it was super new to me to have to wash, to have to commute, and
to be independent.
Right,
In
yeah.
such a way.
And then there was a really funny story because my first language was English, so I had a hard time speaking Bisaya. I just want to share like a story. I didn't know how to commute.
Okay.
So before, the fare was around, let's say, 9 pesos per trip for pedicab, and I wanted to go to Robinson's. So I was having a hard time telling the kuya I wanted to pakyao the pedicab. So I said, Kuya, Robinson's 5. Because I didn't know Bisaya. So I was standing there for...
5 is what?
5.
5.
Yeah. So I've been standing there for 1 hour already. No pedicab would make me ride because it's 5.
But what do you mean by 5?
I meant 20 pesos. Yeah. So then I called my big sister. I was like, Ate, can you please help me? No pedicab would want to make me sakay.
Of course.
Yeah. So the guard started laughing at me because I was there for an hour already. So I think what made me overcome my stay was definitely my big sister. And then, as Tita Jean mentioned a while ago about the Parade of Talents, I was actually a contestant of that Parade of Talents, which opened opportunities for me because I didn't know that I was capable of being like a leader, and being a dormitory officer rather, like opened doors for me. So I started running for student government. I started taking positions in NGOs. So I was really grateful for that experience, and I used to be homesick, right?
Yeah.
So I think my parents were really grateful for the dorm experience because I've grown to become really independent. Just last June to July, I was able to go to Taiwan for like a scholarship.
Wow.
And I was super independent. They didn't call me na at all because they already like had in mind
had to manage yourself.
Yeah, they already knew I was independent enough to commute in a foreign country.
Dili na 5.
Yeah, dili na
Lisod po
5.
ng aeroplano, tag 5.
Yeah, and so because of that, the dormitory had a really big impact on me, and especially my big sis. So growth as a big sister, since again I've been a big sister for 4 years. I think it's like what Kyra said a while ago. It's super light, the feeling, because I feel like they're really my sister because I'm an older sister.
Yeah.
So it's not heavy. It's very rewarding.
Yeah.
So I even have a roommate right now who's grade 7, and like I'm
Grade
teaching.
7?
Yes.
Elementary?
Yeah. So
First time.
I'm teaching her sometimes regarding her math problems, or if she needs to go to like. Because I had problems with commuting. So, like, she also has problems with commuting. So, I helped her because I went through that. So, growth as a big sister, it's really rewarding. It's really fulfilling as well. Because I feel like they're just, my sisters, like my blood-related sisters. And besides, they're like my home, far away from home.
Wow,
So,
thank you very much for sharing your experience, Alyssa. And I bet Ate Jean is very proud while listening to you.
They are called ate by their smallies, and usually these relationships last a lifetime beyond their college years in the university.
I see that because imagine 3 generations of Carson Scholars. That speaks on a huge volume of how the quality of the dorm life quality here at Silliman University is really it lasts for decades. No?
The band doesn't end there.
Once they graduate. No?
The band doesn't end there. It's from children to grandchildren, meaning generation to generation. That is Silliman spirit, loud and clear.
Very strong Silliman spirit.
Indeed. No? And I bet all our audience who are listening will be intrigued or interested to learn more about the dorm life here at Silliman University. How can they apply? You can please invite our audience on how can they possibly apply to become a dormer, perhaps. Kuya Joey, for Dolts Hall.
For Dolts Hall, please contact my number, Kuya Joey, at 0909-424-0002.
Okay.
And also the Dolts Hall website,
Yeah.
Do you have a Facebook page?
We do have a Facebook page, and I think that for those who are actually planning to stay at Adults Hall Dormitory, they can always visit the SHRD department to further inquire as to the pricing as well and the other facilities and the activities that we have in the dormitory.
Thank you, Karis. Ate Jean?
So may I now invite the freshmen, the new students, to avail or to stay in our campus dormitories, the home away from home, and experience the Silliman spirit. So you can contact me on my cell phone, 0916-581-7146, or you can email the SHRD office.
Alyssa, anything that you can add?
We also do have a Facebook page where we showcase our activities, the facilities, and some of our rooms, so you can check that out as well.
Thank you very much, Ate Jean, Alyssa, Kairos, and Kuya Joey for this, interesting conversation about the dorm life here in Silliman University. And if there is one thing that I learned from this conversation is that you can always find a place where you can belong here at Silliman University. Indeed, a home away from home.
Right.
And let us not forget that this institution is centered by a faith in Christ, and everything that we do it for the glory of God. Hey there, Sillimanians! Thank you very much for watching #Silliman. I hope you enjoyed our conversation with the dormers and the dorm managers and dorm matrons. And don't forget to like, comment, and share. We have a Facebook page that is #Silliman. And of course, we also have a YouTube account that is still #Silliman. Don't forget to click the notification bell for more updates. And you can also watch us at Channel 6 Field Products every Monday at 8 p.m. Replays will be shown every Tuesday before the noontime news and every Saturday after the noontime news. On behalf of Joshua Soldivillo, this is Ronelyn Vailoces-No. See you next week only here on
#Silliman.